For as long as football exists, the role of a striker has always been to score goals. Stay in the box and tap it in. As long as there was a goal and your team was winning, it didn't really matter how it was scored. But as football evolved, so did the role and the expectations that came with it. So, if you were a Premier League manager, what would your expectations be of a striker? Goals? Strength? Assertiveness? Agility? Recovery and pressing ability? Would you focus your players to create chances for your number 9, or have your striker involved in your build-up play? How many goals do you expect? 15? 20? 30? In the summer of 2025, the Premier League hit a crisis. A drought of strikers. The best clubs in the best league had nothing to show for them. Nicholas Jackson, Rasmus Højlund, and Darwin Núñez all on the way out, leaving gaps in the striker position. What followed was a whale hunt for the biggest, most talented, and in some cases, most expensive strikers in the history of the entire Premier League. An import of great talent around you, as well as prem-proven finishers, flooded the transfer rumours. All of the clubs have signed a combined total of 20 new strikers into the league, at a whopping €900 million total cost in fees, a gigantic sum compared to previous years. So, who is the best choice? The best bang for your buck? A goal machine that won't cost you a fortune? Well, the answer might not be what you expect, or rather, want it to be.
I don't think he contributed anything really to the game.
When Jesus is maybe a little bit more up to speed, he's a better player than Gyokeres.
What I've seen of Gyokeres so far, will he be an elite striker? I don't think he will.
I don't think they're sold on Gyokeres.
I think he touched the ball once in the first 25 minutes against Chelsea. I'm 57, I think I'm touching it more than once.
Look, I understand the guy has no first touch. If he does get the ball, it doesn't look right. But Gyokeres has 21 goals, first in all competitions and just short of João Pedro for most Prem goals. Can you really ask him for more? Alexander Isak, 144 million with only 3 goals. Hugo Ekitike, 95 million, 17 goals. Sesko, 85 mil, 13 goals. Brian Mbeumo, 75 million with just 11 goals. And Gyokeres, 21 goals for just 73.5 mil. The only new strikers to reach double digits apart from the 3 I just mentioned are Krupi and Pedro at 13 and 20 respectively. So why the hate on Gyokeres? Why is it that every football fan in the world is praying for the downfall of Arsenal and Gyokeres to be sitting nice and snug on the bench, despite having, on paper, an overachieving season? Well, to answer that, we need to look back on the sporting days.
I am 9.
July 13th, 2023. 25-year-old Victor Gyokeres just signed with Sporting Lisbon on a €24 million deal, a record-breaking transfer for Coventry, almost doubling what Coventry got for Robbie Keane. But global news didn't cover it. No one really cared. Just another low-profile buy into the Portuguese league. The end product that came out, however, was a goal-scoring machine. Too physical, quick, and the finishing? Yeah, he was sensational whether you liked him or not. In just 24 months, Victor Gyokeres managed to score 97 goals in 102 games. The same numbers Erling Haaland was putting up at his time with Dortmund. I mean, that type of performance, no matter the league, is impressive. Now, clear side note, he is not Haaland. Nowhere near, but the argument is still to be made. After all, every Premier League fan wanted their club to sign him. Even then, he was still being heavily criticised. Analysts and fans alike pointed to 2 major factors why he was overrated. Firstly, it was the Portuguese league. Time and time again, we see the biggest flops of the recent years come from the Portuguese league. Why? The Premier League is faster, stronger, more intense, and very, very demanding. You go from being the fastest player outrunning all the defenders to barely being able to make a single touch in the game. A demigod in the Portuguese league turned bang average in the Prem. That is the main storyline, and for Gyokeres, that feeling was the same. What if he comes to play English football and he can't keep up? The second factor was who he scored against, or more specifically, how did he not score against the good teams or in any important moments? So when we look inside the league, how well did he actually do against the top teams in Portugal? In total, Gyokeres played against Porto and Benfica 15 times, scoring 10 and assisting 5. Those are certainly not bad numbers, even in the Champions League against most notably his hat-trick against Manchester City, dismembering them in front of Pep's eyes, while simultaneously marking a pivotal moment that gave Amorim his position at Manchester United. His finishing ability is undeniable. However, the same cannot be said after his transfer to Arsenal. Arsenal have been in a desperate need of a number 9 for almost 2 years. All the fans have been begging to bring in a striker with Kai Havertz when he's healthy. Many candidates floated around the rumour mill, dream options being Isak and Alvarez, but neither interested in joining the Gunners. Leipzig had a price tag for Sesko that Arsenal did not want to go with. Maybe if they offered £1 more, they could have got him, leaving Gyokeres as the main man with Nicholas Jackson. Yes, that Nicholas Jackson as an actual potential option if Gyokeres decided not to go with Arsenal. When Gyokeres played against any of the top 6, even though we should not be including Spurs for obvious reasons, he scored only 3 goals in 10 matches, and 2 of those goals were against Spurs. He was unsuccessful against City, Liverpool, Man United, and only scored 1 goal against Chelsea in the Carabao Cup. That's just bad. So let's break down what he is good at and what he lacks. Finishing, especially inside the box. Those tap-ins once the final pass is made. Once he gets his chance, he does convert. And he does it very well. Although his first touch to bring the ball, control it, and set himself up for a strike is poor. If you need a big, physical presence in the box that finds himself in the right place at the right time, then sure, he is your guy. And alongside being available most games, rarely getting injured, that is basically it. If you need him to do anything else, beat defenders one-on-one, create play for teammates, hold up the ball against more physical centre-backs, then he is useless. Especially outside the box, he just looks lost. This is the complete opposite of what a player like Kai Havertz is. But since bringing in the Swede, Arsenal have not adjusted to his way of play. At Sporting, under Amorim, Gyokeres played heavily on the counter-attack. They never prioritize possession. Just stay on the defensive line. As soon as the team wins the ball back, run and be fluid, but quick, with the ball to the front. Arsenal doesn't play like that. It relies more on the hold-up play, distribute and keep the ball, slowly build up the attack, which is why Gyokeres finds himself looking lost, not used to playing a more defensive, deeper role. This only highlights how more impressive the 21 goals so far actually is. I mean, when your team is only winning 1-0 most games, and it usually comes as a set piece, the tally is way more impressive. Makes you think if he played for a team designed to play counter-attacking football, he would flourish. But the Arteta system was already in play. Gyokeres has to adjust, and not the tactic. Arsenal built around their strength for years now, the defense. This is why the perfect player for Arsenal would be a mixture. Talented creative dribbler of Kai Havertz with the finishing ability of Gyokeres. But for now, this leaves Arsenal in a rather good situation. If they can get Kai Havertz to be healthy and have a second striker that is already banging in over 20 goals a season, they are setting themselves up for success. However you want to look at it, the bottom line is that Arsenal is top of the league, and Gyokeres has scored over 1/5 of all of Arsenal's goals. Does he score against the best teams? No. Does he have incredible talent, first touch, positioning? Also no. But he still bangs in goals, something that Arsenal's lacking for years, and every single game in the season is vital to winning the league. So without him, well, the league becomes more of an open book. There would be a key finishing aspect missing at the club. Even the fact of Gyokeres managing to stay healthy, many sides struggled without, again, a true finisher due to injuries or not being fully trusted. So love him or hate him, it is undeniable the impact Gyokeres has had on the season. helping Arsenal win their first league title in 22 years. And who knows, maybe after the World Cup, you come back better than ever before. Comment down below if you think Gyokeres is overhated or overrated. Thank you and peace out.